this. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much and welcome again to the new session. So today we are going to discuss about our week 3 lecture, and what we are supposed to discuss today about the Android application setup, development, execution, and other components. Basically, we're trying to understand the interface of Android Studio, the components of the application, the emulator, writing our first program, compiling our first program, creating the emulator, creating the external emulator as well, and also discuss about the third-party emulator in case if suppose some of our machines are having a problem because of any issue. So hands-on will be started from today. So as we discussed that, the hands-on will be more in this course. So ready to enjoy the course? Here we go. As you remember that in the previous lecture, we covered about the basic details for the mobile operating systems, their types, their layers, about the details for the Android architecture, its layers, how it works, and also what are the market shares and other things. And in our last lab, we tried to discuss that how we can configure the Android Studio on our machines. So I hope that all of you are done with the Android Studio, with the installation and configuration. So everything will be doing great. In case if suppose few of you, if it still has any issue, not a problem, we can fix it quickly, because from now onward, each lecture will be hands-on. And the labs will be hands-on as well. So the concepts and the things what we will learn in our theory part, you will be receiving the task or instructions related, very closely related to them in your upcoming lab sessions to implement them, to understand further, to enforce your concepts that what you have learned during the theory class. So we can assume that now we are at the stage, we are ready to go for our Android first application. Not only go for first application, but also we try to understand the Android interface, different options, different files, compilation, debugging, and so on and so on. At least those, all of the things which are important, or which will be required, or which will be used by us throughout the semester. So here we go. You can see from this slide that we are saying, are you ready? We assume that you are ready today. So what happened today? Today I will open the Android Studio and will brief about all of the things that what we discussed. And in the upcoming lectures, we will do hands-on. And for today, you can be with me to learn to understand, because more is about the briefing. But for the next classes, if you wish, you can even do together, start writing, start implementing the things the project what we are discussing. So you can try to do that runtime during the class as well. And the rest we will implement. You can implement during the lab sessions. So now for today, first we go through to discuss the concepts and the details to follow the presentation. And then we will go back to the Android Studio, that what we have discussed here. We will see where they are, how they are, and we will see them practically, and also discuss and compare them, but we will be there in the Android Studio. So we will go to the Android Studio in a while. Now, here we are assuming that we all are done with the installation. Okay, now when we will go to the Android Studio, so what is our task? Our task for today is to develop our first Android application process, to see that how we can create our project. We see how we can choose and use the different options, and how is the Android Studio, and how we can add or create the emulators, and how and what are the options we can create or add the external physical devices, our Android devices, using the cable with our machines. And also, in case if suppose you have a problem, you're not able to, your emulator is not working, you don't have the other option, you don't have Android phone with you, then what are the other options where we need the emulator or AVD to run and test our application? So we can see the other options like Genymotion. Genymotion is the third party tool that will help us to test our applications. So there are multiple ways to go through to test our application. Now, going ahead, you can see probably the screen will be almost same or with a bit different, because all the time the versions are upgrading. So not to be worried about that. But when we open the Android Studio, the first welcome to Android Studio screen, or we call this screen as a welcome screen, will be there. You can find out the details. Start a new Android Studio project. By clicking this, we will be able to create a new Android Studio project. If you want to open the existing, you can go with the second option, open existing Android Studio project. If you want to go for the import and an Android code sample, so you can be able even to import your previous code as well. Or even you will be able to import the non-Android Studio project as well. You can go for configuration as well, and you can go for check out the project for version control as well. So slowly, you will be able to see, to learn about these all options as well. So our today's focus will be, we will start a new Android Studio project. Going ahead, once when the window appears, Android Studio, it means that it is ready to open the application or open the project.
Excuse me, sir.
Please.
I have a friend. He's a transferred student, so he would like to join this meeting, but I cannot add him for a participant. Could you add him, sir?
Yeah. Could you please share his email address?
Yes, I would just chat you.
Yes, please. Sorry for the disturbance. We have to add this new friend. We welcome to a new friend. Yeah, please send me. Yeah.
Done, sir.
Yeah, very great, very great. This is Wing Sing Fong.
Yes.
The needful. Anyone has the email address for Anil Raj, so we can do that as well. Okay, so we can do that first. So this is here. Okay. Yeah, please mention to your friend that he may receive the invite now. Did he receive the invite? So he can click on that and then he can be able to join. Meanwhile, I can look for the Anil. Do you know for the Anil email address? Yes, please confirm. Hello. Yeah, please confirm. Okay. So then we can start again. I hope your friend received the invitation. So now you can let him know to join us. So once this window will appear, it means the Android Studio is ready. And now we are in a position to go for the application. So what we need to do, that once we click to the Android Studio, open new, then we will be able to see, sorry, we will be able to see for the new project this type of screen. So here we're supposed to provide the information about our new project. Say for example, we are providing the information in application name like my application, and company domain. This company domain may looks like the website address. So you can see the com.myapp.android simple. So not to be worried, most of the time this will be automatically, once you start writing application name, it will be automatically done for you. Then you can see at the bottom that is the project location. So from the project location, you can pinpoint, say for example, this is the default location where you actually install. So if you wish, you can keep that one. Otherwise, you can change as well. It depends on you. Then once you are done with this screen, then we will be able to go to the next phase. But before that, you need to understand that in the new project window, set application name as Android Simple or whatever the name you wish to. So the application name is the name normally which the application will be referred. And whenever you come again back and open it or reopen it or reload it, so that will be the name you can refer to your application. And also that is the same name will be taking it to the Google Play Store once you will be making it done, making it ready. So you can upload your application at the Google Play Store with the same name. As we discussed, the package name is used to be uniquely identified, but it will be automatically means done for you. So that is the means uniquely identified application within the Android application ecosystem. So be careful. Means at this stage it is not a big deal, but when you are going to do your assignments and projects and your applications, what you are supposed to means upload them. At that time, it is better that you can be clear about the naming rule for the application. Now, what is the next? Once you are done with this one, so as you noticed here, that the second part, it shows like the www.mycompany.com or com.myapp.android symbol. So as I told you that this will be generated automatically for you. So not to be worried about that. You need to be careful to provide the application name. And in the application name, you have to be careful for the naming rule, follow the same standards what you are following for the Java, because this is the Java based. So you need to follow the same limitations and the same properties here in the Android as well. Now going ahead, the location, which is the default location, is there. If you wish to keep at any other location, you can. This is simple. You can means create your own directory. Even better that you can create your own directory, or even better than whatever the default location is coming, you can means do it for your all of the testing and your lab exercises there. But whenever you have your projects and something, so if you wish, you can change the location, or if you wish, you can use the same location. There is no issue at all. Now, when you click next to proceed, then another screen will be appeared in front of you. That screen will actually ask from you that what type of application you wish to choose. You want to go for the application for the phone or for the tablet or for the wearable devices, or what option you want to choose. And also it will ask from you about the API setting. This is important to understand about the API setting. You can find with the new version APIs to 30, and means with the time, with the updation, APIs will be increasing as well. So now the question is, suppose if you are choosing the API, which is 29 and 30 for your application, then it means that that application will not run on the devices which has the lower APIs or the lower versions of the Android. So the wise approach is that if suppose we are having available up to the 30 API, so you can choose like 25 or 26 like that. So it will be working on the latest versions as well as the means normally versions which are in the use. No need to go to means choose the initial APIs like suppose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because they are already almost gone. But with the time, the new APIs are there. So you can means keep this in your mind. So if suppose you are choosing the API, which is the very last, then your application will not be able to run on all the devices. And if you are choosing the application very low, then again you will face the same problem. So you may choose wisely, like suppose it's 30, so you can say 24, 25, or 26 like that, or even 27 will be okay as well. So when you will be choosing the API, so it will be requiring again installation. In case if suppose the packages are not configured or not installed on your machine already. So wisely you can use the 1 or 2 or 3 APIs. So they can install and configure on your machine once. So the later you may not be facing this issue, and your coding and your operations will be smoother then. Now after that, once you click the next, then you will be able to finalize these things. Then you will be able to see another option after choosing that what it is. That will be about what type of activity you want or you wish to choose. So you just give me a minute to take you to the screen. So you can see from here that this is how a bit different screen depend on the version, because the Android versions are coming very fastly. So however, the options will be looks like that what version or what API level you are going to choose. So you can see from here that these are the API levels. This is the 10, and right now we have up to the 30. So you can see that this API will be working for the KitKat, and then you can see about which is the 19, and if you just see for the means 23, so the 33 it will be working for the marshmallow, and it will work for above as well. But if you are choosing 23, that will not work on the lollipop. If you are choosing 21, that will not work on the 19, and so on and so on. That's what we mean that you may choose the proper appropriate, which is if suppose we are at 30, so you may choose the 24 or 25 or 27 like that. And these APIs are keep changing, keep updating with time as well. So once any update will be there, your Android Studio will automatically let you know that the APIs are there, our packages are there, or the other information are there, or even your Android new version is there. But do remember that what we discussed last time, that you may not means update your Android version all the time until and unless it comes in this double channel. So if the means any other version of the Android, if it is in a stable channel, then you can only go for that. Otherwise, just ignore that message. Okay. Now, as we discussed that we are done once with this screen, choosing the packages and everything. Now is the time to decide that the application that what you are doing. So you will be choosing for what option. Maybe it's for TV, maybe it is for the Android Auto, for wearable devices, or for the tablets, or for what. So what it mean by means there is what will be the difference. So the difference will be in Android actually GUI is highly important. Okay, so you will notice that you will have the means several weeks for the GUI, means the next week to next week to next week. These all are the GUI. So if you will be choosing the component that you are going to design for the wearable, then your GUI will be different and options will be different. Options will be available to you. If you are choosing for the TV, then the total means components which will be available to you, that will be different. In the same way, if you are choosing for the Android application, then you will be able to have the different available options for you. So how this will be, so you can see that once we will go ahead, so you can find out that how it is, and we will see it practically as well in a couple of minutes. So the next step is to define the type of initial activity. Now, this is the most important point, that what is the activity. First of all, you have to understand what is the activity. I will show you now as well, once we will done with this one. Activity is a container, is an active screen of your cell phone, of your mobile, where you can add the different applications or different components. That is known as an activity. So we will choose at our first go, say for example, as an empty activity. So this means that the container will be empty and we can use and we can add any of the GUI component in it. We can add the buttons, we can add the tags, we can add whatever the components we wish to add, we can, because that is the empty one. So in the same way, you will see that there are the multiple forms or types of the activities. So most of the time we will be using the activity which will be means the blank activity. So we will be using that, and in later we will be able to use the other activities as well. For example, if suppose you are going to use for the GPS, then you can choose the different type of activity. If you are going to use the means APIs for YouTube or for other things, then we will be using the other sort of the activity. But most of the time we will be using the blank activity, the empty activity, because then we will be free to design, free to put and everything like that. Okay, and that is the easiest part as well to handle, say for example about the coding part as well, because the choice of the activity, whatever we will choose, the default code will come with that particular one. Then we have to handle that part as well. So now you can see once we're done with the empty activity or the blank activity, so once it is done, option selected, then we just select the next screen. Then it will show us the Android means sample activity is added. And then it will consist of the single user interface because we are taking the blank activity. So now we need to provide a name for it. So you can provide a name, whatever you want to. Say, for example, most of the time we write that as a main activity. And if you will not provide a name, by default, it will take as a main activity. Because that screen, that is the primary screen, that is the primary GUI for your any of the Android application. That is known as the primary activity. That's why it normally called as the main activity. So be consistent and be sure about this naming scheme. This will not create any problem or issue for you at this stage, at the initial stages, but once you will be going with the richer and the richer concepts where you will be using more than one activities, multiple activities, and when you will be trying to call the other activities inside your primary activity or main activity, then you will have to be careful about this naming conversation as well. Otherwise, you will be means facing the trouble. So that's why we are discussing about these points which are important. So you can see from this screen that once you will be reaching to that screen, so you can see that now you can provide the name of the activity, which is the customized activity. So here you can see the activity name is main activity. So the layout name will be automatically, it will means take in the means in reverse order. Like suppose you see that here you are saying the main activity. So below is you can see that the layout name is the activity underscore main. Okay, so what is the layout, how it looks like, where it is? So we'll show you in a couple of minutes once we will go to the Android Studio. Now, once we are done with this one, now we just need to means click to the finish. So you can see from the screen, previous screen at the bottom. So here is the finish option. Once we are done with this one, so it means these primary options are already done. Now we can click to the finish. So once we click to the finish, then it will initiate the creation of the project creation process. And once the project is created, so it will take us to the now Android environment. So now it's a time to understand that how to execute your Android application and what is the Android Studio, what are the different options, how we can handle the different parts as well. So now we are at the stage where we are inside the Android Studio. So you can see from here that in Android Studio, we can execute the Android applications. Normally we have, means we used to use the two options. One is the AVD, that what we discussed last time, that is known as the Android virtual device. We call it as the emulator as well. And the other one is the physical device, such as our own cell phones. But there are the multiple other ways also. In case if suppose you don't have Android cell phone, you are using iOS phone, and in case if suppose your AVD or emulator is creating a problem, then what to do? What is the next solution? So sometimes they create the problem, emulator create a problem because of the not having right installation. And sometimes it creates a problem because maybe something or some components are missing. And sometimes they create a problem because maybe they have some sort of conflict with your hardware or with your machine. So the reasons could be many. So few of the reasons we can fix them, possible to fix them, and few of the reasons we means they are not able because if suppose they are linked with the hardware dependency. So then we are not able to solve them. Then in that particular case, we can go to the option number 2, where we can use the physical devices. Now, in case if suppose we have the issue with our hardware device, for example, we don't have Android based mobile phone, then we may go for the other option, which is the option number 3, and that is known as the third party emulators are available. And the one of them, the very famous one of them is known as Genymotion. So we can use that one, and we can means parallelly install that Genymotion, and then we can run those applications and test on that. So there is no issue. We can, means we have the multiple solutions for that. Now for the Android virtual device AVD, if you remember, we last time also discussed. So we can see that how we can configure. So this is very simple. It's very easy. And that's very, very much essential as well. Emulator that will allow the Android applications to test. Because for testing, we have to have something in our machine. So that is the emulator that comes as a part of the but by default, it will not install. So we need to means configure it and install it. By default, with Android installation, it will not be there. Then the Android Studio will provide us the different options, and also it will provide us the details that which emulator will be supporting to which API and like that. So be careful here as well that you may not means configure and install so many emulators because they will require the resources. Then your machine will be means again slower, and then you will be means in trouble and you will not be able to enjoy. So just try to have one or two emulators which are important and necessary for you. Okay, I hope you understand my point, what I mean. And then the other thing is that is in case if suppose you have the machine which has the less resources, then you can use your Android phone as well. That is the something you can means put the lesser burden on your machine. So these AVD are emulators. They have a very good facility. They have internet connection. They have almost all of the options. You can see them that those emulator will looks like a real cell phone, a real mobile phone, and it can help you for means multiple options like the same like what we have in our cell phones. But again, because they are the emulator, they are not the real phones. That's why a few of things they are not actually supported by those emulators. For example, sometimes you will not have the right support for the camera. You will not have the right support for the GPS. You will not have the right support for the few of the other APIs as well, because those things are not able to be supported by the emulator because that is the only emulator. It's not the real physical device. So in those cases, probably we will use the option number B, which is our own physical device where we can test and run the applications. Now, how to create the means new AVD? AVD, it means the Android virtual device. We call AVD, we call VD, we call emulator. So these all names are referring to the same. So not to be worried and not to confuse yourself. Okay. So we want to create and manage using the Android Virtual Device Manager, and which can be used with a user-friendly graphical user interface. It will be means looks like once it is created, it will looks like a genuine phone, whatever the model you can. So you can see all of the applications, default applications, what those cell phones have. You will find those all of the applications in your particular means emulator. Now, how you can do that? So in order to test your applications, it is very simple. So you don't have the physical device. Normally, we don't recommend to you the physical device. If you have good machine, then you can go with the emulator. If you have an issue, then you can go for that. So you can create the AVD manager. So how you can select how you can create. So that can be achieved by going to the tools, Android and AVD manager menu option. From the window, I will show you also, and also there are the shortcuts as well. So you will be able to create them, and you can launch them, and you can delete them, and you can update them, and you can be having the options where you can add more than the one AVDs as well. Now, this is the screen which is showing you for your better understanding that what it is. These are your virtual devices. So you can see from this screen that there are the three virtual devices they are created. There is no limit. You can create any number of the virtual devices. Okay? But keep in mind that all they are actually resource hungry. So you can see size on the disk, 4 GB, 1 GB, 1 GB. So it is better that you may not go for everything. Okay, but be careful that while you are using, so you can see that API, what API you are using. what is the resolution and what is the, you can see Nexus 4, Nexus 5, Nexus 9. So it means that for what API you are going to use, and also you try to see that which one has required less resources, so you can go for that. And it's easy, you can create by means creating pressing the button below here. I will show you as well in a couple of minutes that how we can create. And then you can see that the versions, how much size resources maybe they require. So you can even means try to go for the one which requires the less resources, so your machine should be faster. Try to manage your machine as you can be able to get the maximum benefit. And from here you can see from the actions, so you can even run them, or you can even suppose edit them, or you can even suppose delete them. And even remember that you can run the two means AVDs or the two devices at the same time as well. And you can be able in the future, I'll show you, you can see that you can be able to call from one AVD to other AVD if you are loading the two AVDs, and you will be able to send the messages from one AVD to the other AVD as well. So these things will be very interesting. But the point is, the thing is that you will be required to have the good amount of the resources. Yeah. Now, once you select your hardware, as you can see from here, from the list, you are choosing the AVD for what you are choosing for the phone. This depends that what type of application you choose already. So you can see from here, you can choose for the phone or wearable devices or TV or tablet. This depends on you. So you can select that one, and then these are the list of the devices, and this will be the size, screen size for them. This will be the resolution for them, and this will be the density or the DPI for them. And so then you can select any one of the device, or even you can make a clone for any of the device. So if you are making a clone, so it means that you are no need to go for all of the steps, and you can directly go to make a clone for your particular device. Now, to add an additional AVD, again, you need to click, means as I told you, that you can be able to means click to this create virtual device. There is no limitation, means you can create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's up to you. But then you have to be wise, you have to be careful about your machine resources. That is the most important thing. You are supposed to deal with that. Now, after that, once you are done with this one, so you can add so many as number you wish to, and within that dialog box you can use whatever options you want to choose, means for the Nexus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even the other devices as well. So there is not an issue, and you can choose from a category. So it is very simple, and we will go through with it so you can see that how we can do that. Now, once you are done with this one, so you can choose about the options, selecting which one, which option, which API, everything you will be free to choose. So we will do that right now. So you can see that, and that will be more easy for you to understand. Okay, so going ahead, once it is done, then you will be able to perform the test run that your newly AVD is means running or not. One more thing here that is important. Once you are testing, once you're running, so in future, if suppose you are doing a programming, so you remember that you are supposed to required to run the means application again and again. So the wise approach is that when you are going to do that, so you can link any of the your AVD with your machine, and then you can run the AVD first, and then you just keep it running at the back end, and then you can write a program, and then you can be means testing it again and again. So then it will be a faster process. Means don't close it until you are doing the programming. It will close it. Then for each of the option, once you run the application, it will take a means longer time to just go to reload it. Once the AVD is reloaded, then the means your Android Studio will install the newer version of the application on that. And once the newer version of the application is installed, after that it will be able to run that. So in this way, it will take a lot of time. So means it is better that you can means load it first, and then you can be only able to means make the changes whatever you wish to, and then you will be able to just run it, and automatically It take a very less amount of time. It will only update your version and it can run faster for you. So how to run? So you can see from here, from this screen, how to run. It is easy. At the top bar, I will show you as well. So from here, beside of the app, you can see that this is the run app. You can run with the keyboard shortcut Shift plus F10, or you just press this button and automatically it will start, means running your application, and then it will ask about the emulator. So you can choose the emulator, but otherwise it will go to your default emulator. So you can make the default emulator like what we are doing for the default printer as well. So you can go for that option as well. So in that case, you will not be required to select again and again whenever you are running your application. Once make a one default, then automatically without asking to you, automatically it will run and it will load your application in that. Okay. Now, once that's what we already discussed, that by default Android Studio will respond to run request, displaying the choose device dialog. Again, you can skip that one. So you may not go for this one. You just try to select the one of them as your default device. So if you have a default device, then what happens automatically whenever you run the application, it will take you, it will install your application to that particular emulator, and that will save your huge amount of time as well as your memory as well. So you can see from here that this is the available list. Say for example, if you are not choosing any of the default, then it will show you that how many you have and then which one you want to choose. Okay, so you can choose anyone and you can make them default. And from here you can see this is the connected devices. Okay, so this is connected devices. This is the option number 2. Remember that we can do it with the physical devices. So you can connect your Android phone with the USB cable and you can run the application on that. If you are doing like this, that is the most fastest way. Okay, and this will be taking a less amount of resources from your machine. So in case if suppose you are connecting your device, then that device will be displayed at the top of the list. That will be come under the connected devices. That will not come under the available virtual devices. So these are the virtual devices, AVD. They are not physical devices, but the connected devices will be the actual devices which are the physical devices which are actually connected there. Okay. Now going ahead, that you can see once application is installed and running, the user interface for the Android activity class so will appear within the emulator. So once everything is fine, there is no issue, there is no bug, there is no problem. There is a testing of your Android Studio as well. There is a testing of your other components as well. There is a testing of your GUI as well. And then you will be able to have your first application. Here I must suggest to you, because now you are just going to write the programs. So you try to play with Android Studio as much as you can. Don't scared from the errors and the bugs. Okay, even the errors and bugs are coming, you have to welcome that, because those are there to teach you, because that is the right way that you can learn a lot. Okay, so not to be scared from the bugs. The bugs are actually there to give us another way. Once we solve it, once we address them, it means that we know one more way. So just try to spend as much as time, not only do what we are discussing here, but you can say, for example, after today you will be knowing that how we do this, how we connect the devices, how we can use to create the simulators, how we can write our application, how we can change the text, how we can play with the background and other colors. But then the rest of the things you can start playing with that. Okay, so keep continue. So then in this way you will be able to understand more and more. Now, what is the next? Once it is done, if the application is running, so you will be able to see any sort of the image like hello world or blah 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 you wish to see, like this. This depends on what you are trying to write. If you will not write anything from your side, then you will be able to see only hello world. That is the by default text. But if you wish to change the background color, if you wish to add some sort of the contents or something, then it will be something different for you. So we will see that how we can do that. So now this is the sample of empty activity running in Nexus 5 emulator. You can run in any of the emulator. So when you choose the type of emulator, that looks like 100% same as per the same model of the phone, what we have the physical phone. So you can keep doing for your experimental, for your understanding purpose, and then you may means delete them, or you just keep one or two emulator for the resource setting. Now, once it is done, now what happened? Now automatically means, as we discussed, that you can make a default emulator. So now automatically, whenever you make changes, you try to compile your application again, run your application again, and automatically whatever the changes you will be doing, they will come in your emulator. What happened whenever you run the application, it will overwrite the application, or means reinstall your application in some of the cases, and then you will be able to see what's the output. So whenever you run the application, always you need to wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, otherwise, because at the start it will start showing you the previous output. So if you see the previous output, don't close it quickly. Just be patient and just wait that until it will overwrite it, and it will update and means upload the new results for you. So now we are coming here for the physical device. In case if suppose we are facing the issue that we are not able to have this device emulator, then how we can go for the physical device. You can see from here for the physical device, it's simple, very simple. So in that, what we need to do, that in that case we have to have our cell phone, but the cell phone is means Android based, any of the sort, any of the company, that's not an issue, and that we can connect it with our means PC using the USB cable. So keep remember, this will be using the USB cable, not wirelessly, because the option which enables it, this called as USB debugging option. So that's why we have to have the USB. The USB, what which USB? The same means power cable through which we are charging. So we can connect our cell phone with that, and the USB means part without rather to put it in the power charger plug. We just connect it with our means PC. So then it will be able to means reach that one. So how we will do it, and how what are the settings are required? That is the one thing we are supposed to discuss under this, and it's very simple. So what we need to do, we can do that, we can communicate that concept that is handled by the ADB. This is ADB, not ADP, not American Degree Program. This is the Android Debug Bridge. So we are bridging them together. So in this section, what we will do, we will enable the application testing on a physical device. We'll discuss about the Windows, and in case suppose we have the Mac machines or the Linux system, then you can refer to that particular means your reference book, and you can see that how we can connect. So now how we can connect, so you can see for the ADB, the primary purpose of ADB is to provide the means facilities interaction between the development system in case if the Android is to do, and both AVD emulator and physical devices are able to, and in case if suppose our emulator has having an issues or problem. So you can test, even if suppose your machine is means doing fine, you can connect your device with the machine just for a check, just for your proof of concept. So you can use, if suppose you can build, you can create, so it can be added once and it will be there. So it's not necessary that once you configure your machine, then you will not be able to use the emulator. No, you can. So you can configure that one, and then you can see that which one you want to use when. So any of the option, you can be quick, keep switching, depend on your own choice. Okay, how will do that? Very simple, that you need to go to your cell phone. In your cell phone, you need to go to the means option which is known as the setting option. So you just need to means choose the device and select your means setting option. And once you go to the means that particular option, so you will appear a lot of different means options in it. So you need to scroll down to means go to the build number and the other things. You will be able to see them. But actually, what we are looking for, you can see the build number, you can see the kernel number, you can see the other so many options. But actually, what we are looking for, we are not looking for that, but we are looking for the one of the most important option, that is known as the USB debugging option. Okay, so you can go to the setting and then you can go to the means in about, then you can go about the USB debugging option. And once you reach there, so the by default this option is most of the time is means off. So if this option is off, what you need to do, you just need to select and make it on. So once your option is selected as on, after that you just come back and connect your cell phone with the USB cable to the your machine, to your computer, and automatically you will be able to receive a message that your USB debugging is enabled. So once you are done with this one, then it will be able, you will be able to see that in your Android Studio as well. And now while you are running your application, you will be able to see that how you can configure with your cell phone. So in that particular case, once you run application, automatically for your application, it will be installed, configured and installed on your own handset, on your own mobile, and then you will be able to run the application from your mobile like what we are doing normally for the other applications as well. So this is the other option that what we can use it for testing purpose, because we need it. We need it either the cell phone, either the emulator, until we don't, we are not able to see the device, how the things are working. We cannot say that it is means working fine or not. We cannot decide based only on the code. Now, once USB is means connected, you will be able to see the option like this: USB debugging connected. Touch to disable the USB debugging. If you wish to, means disable that, you can means do that at any time. It is for your safety purpose. Normally, we keep it means off, because otherwise, if suppose your phone is going to be someone is your phone is connected with his or her machine, then your phone will be means able to connect it, and they can get any data from your phone, or they can means pass any data in your machine as well. So that's why normally it is the default, it is the means not enable option. But when you want to use for the programming, for the debugging, for the installation of application, at that time you can use this one to make it enable. So it depends on you. You wish to means keep it on, or you want means keep switching on and off. Both things are okay, because it will not take more than a few seconds to be done. Now, sorry. Once the device is configured, it will accept the debugging connections from the ADP on the development system, and all that remains to configure the means development system to detect. And this you can do the same for the Mac and operating system, and also in Linux, and also Windows, all of the operating system. This is doable, so not an issue. Okay. Now what happened? The first step to configure a Windows-based development system, to connect the Android devices using the ADB, which is you already installed, and appropriate USB drivers are by default nowadays. Whatever the handset we are using, the new models, they don't have any issue. They can means once you install, enable that one, and it will automatically means run few of the driver for you, and then it will means done with the configuration. But in case if suppose sometime you face the problem, probably this is a part of the game, so not to be worried about that. Then you can go through with the following link, and you can find out that how you can install the USB drivers. So probably you will be required to install the USB drivers, and once you install the USB drivers, and after that you can means be able to run the application on your physical device as well. Now you can see from here, for the Android devices not supported by the Google USB driver, few of the devices they are not supported. So it will be necessary for them that you need to download the drivers and configure them. Then you will be only able to use them. So you can see that list. You remember we discussed about the Android Studio, that the Google is providing a very rich help related to all of the concepts. So and also to the materials and the softwares. So you can find out the list from there as well. In case if suppose your device is not connecting, And you just go through and you see what is the manufacturer, what is the model, what's the version your cell phone has, and in that kit, what is the solution. So you will find out the drivers and patches so you can be able to means run that one as with the physical device. So now everything is done. So you can see that here we are means asking, he's asking from us, from your machine also it will ask the permissions like what we are doing in the Bluetooth as well. So you can allow the computer and then you can say that, okay, it's fine, allow the USB debugging, then you will be able to. Why this is so? Because you remember that this is for your safety and security. If once it is enabled, then any person can be able to access your machine easily. Okay. Now once it's done, so now you can see that the Android sample or Android sample. So this is the application, what it is done from the screen. Here we go. I will show you. I will show you further from the screen so you can see from here. And this is the button which you can run by pressing the mouse. Even you can press the Control F10 and you will be able to run the application. So now the application is done. So now you can choose your device. Either you want to run with the physical emulator or if physical device that your cell phone is device. We cannot call it as the emulator because emulator it means that something it is not in real, but it is just for the testing purpose we produce. And for that reason, we can see that all of the things they are not supported with that as well. So that is what the most important. You need to understand the difference between the physical device and the means virtual device. Now, once we are done, so you can see from here that once you are done, then your device will be appeared in the list. So you can see from here that your device is appeared in the list. Now it's up to you. You want to use your device or you want to use the VD or the virtual device, whatever you wish to. So you can keep switching as well. This is not a big deal. Okay. So test your connection. Make enable, everything is done, device means is fine. Now how you will test your connection, you can run the tool, you can go means to go for a simple application and try to run it and test it. Now this is done from emulator. We discuss about emulator. This is done about Android application. We discuss about that. We done about the physical means devices, that how we can connect that. Now, when we're going inside the Android Studio, so there are so many options. I will show you those options as well. But the most important options are where you will be, or most of the time will be playing with that. That are the actually components of Android project. It's important to understand because you will see there are the other options as well. The Android project will be the only one option, but that is the most important one. We will be means keep playing, keep coding, keep running with this Android project option most of the time. So you can see in the means Android application, there will be the four major components or major parts: manifest, Java, RES directory, which is known as the resource directory, and the Gradle. The Gradle is the Gradle build. This is the most important point. Now, what these things are in manifest file is the backbone of your any of the Android application. It contains all of the information related to your application. Even it contains the permissions if you wish to use the internet, if you wish to means access the other application resources or anything. This all information is means being there in the manifest file. So you can see that that is the main backbone of your Android application. Now the Java folder, these are the actually Java is a folder, then it contains again the files in it. So what the Java contains actually your code, whatever the code you are writing, your class files and other things which are related to the Java, they will be there. Now, resource directory, again, it contains a lot of different means subfolders. So what the icon you are using for your machine, okay, for your application, what the means pictures are the photos you are trying to use in it, what the other resources you are trying to use them. So all of the application, your app resources will be in line under this directory. And the Gradle build, This is Gradle, non-Gradle, but this is actually the Gradle build. This is actually the compilation, debugging, and everything about your application. So these four are the very important. We need to understand them properly because these are the things we will be using all of the time. Now, when we go to the manifest file, so you can see, as we discussed, that this is the very important file, and this extension will be XML. It is the XML file, and by default, its name will be the Android manifest file. Okay, this is the very important file. So do remember about that. So precisely for each of the application, its name will be Android manifest file. I will show you how it is, where it is. And it is in the root directory. Okay. The manifest file provide all essential information about the Android application to the Android studio. So even the permissions, what we are doing, what we are using, how we are accessing, what means all the important and necessary information are actually held by the manifest file. And you will be also doing using this file, and you will be means trying to make the changes, whatever the things you will be applying. So you will be able to see that how these things are going to be handled with the manifest file. Okay, very soon. Then what are the next? These are actually, it names the Java packages for applications. Applications, the package name serves as the unique identifiers of the application. It describe the components of application, which include the activities, okay, which include the activities, services, broadcast, receivers. At this stage, maybe you don't know. Maybe you are knowing only the activities, what it is. What are the services? Maybe you have the some means understanding what are the services, but these things are means very important. We have one lecture for each thing. The broadcast, what are the broadcasts? Maybe you are knowing just from the meaning of the word, but these things are very important. What are the receivers and content providers, and these things means each and everything, it goes to the manifest or goes through the manifest. If we say means precisely, we can say that these all things go through the means manifest file. So that's why we call the manifest file is the main major file for that one. It also names the classes that implement each other components, publishers, capabilities such as instant messages, internet connectivity, handling. So in other words, again, I'm repeating that this is the very, very major backbone or major file. So be careful, don't play with that file, okay? And don't means make the unnecessary changes with this file. Going ahead, so you can see that it determines the processes hosting application components. It declares the permissions. That's what I told you. Applications, it has the records for the APIs and so on, other applications as well. And it lists what the instrumentations, classes, and provide profiling and so on and so on. So we can just conclude that one, that this is the most important file. This is the most important place. This is the backbone of your any of your Android application, okay, which holds everything. That's what we discuss. So going ahead, because a lot of things you will be time. The second part, the second thing out of this four, you remember the manifest, Java, and resource directory and the Gradle. The second thing is about the Java. So now we are going for the Java. So in the Java, you can see what it contains. So it is actually part of Android project, but it is contain the Java class files and packages. In other words, we can say that that is the right folder which contain your code. Okay, so most of your code will be there. Going ahead of that, so you can see number 3 about the uh, resources directory. So if you remember, we already discussed that it contains the means several mini directories inside. So the one of them is the drawable. The drawable is generally means contains about the graphicals. So in other words, we can say whatever the bitmaps, icons, or even your app icons, what you are using, they are contained, they are inside that one. Okay. So you can see that which can be drawn, simplest case in graphical file, bitmaps, and other applications, sorry, related to the other resources, they are inside that sub directory, which is inside the resources. I will show you that where it is. Then MIP map, it contains the images file and icons to be used as a project as well. So going ahead, so in other words, you can see that this is the resources. So all of the resources which belongs to the Android applications, they are the part of it. They will be there. So you want to load any image, you want to load any device density, or you want to load anything means related to the image. So you will be able to load inside that, and that will be automatically fit in the icon, means as per the requirement. And some of the things you are supposed to make the as per the standard of that, and then you will be able to upload them inside the MIP map. So you will be able to use those icons or pictures or images in your application. So your launcher icons also go inside the MIP map folder. So launcher, what is the launcher icon? This means whenever we install the application, so you can see we can identify from the one of the icon is there. It is in the sort of the image. That icon also goes to in MI map folder. So which is means oftenly scaled, means extremely scaled down, and means keeping in quality that how it is. So we need to be sure, making sure that how what it is required and how we are going for that particular part. Now, top of that, your layouts, your layout folders also contain that inside the resource folder. What's the layout? Layout means your design of your activity, design of your application. What style we are using? In horizontal, it's vertical, how we are dividing it, okay, in portions. That's called the fragments. So I'm trying to avoid the most technical words at this time because you are not aware about this, so you may not get confused for that. So how we are means dividing, deciding, and defining our screen of our mobile application. That is known as actually the layout, and how we are keeping the controls, the buttons, and the other resources on our activity or on the screen of a mobile, how we are organizing them. That's actually known as the layout. So these all layouts are also stored. They are also available in this folder, resource folder, and that the colors for the means background colors and the dimensions and the pixels and other values, they all are also the resource. So you can see in simple words, we can say that all the resources which belongs to the application, that goes to the resource folder, all the code which belongs to the application, that goes to the Java, and all of the other internal and external things, resources, permissions, which belongs to the application, that will goes to the mean backbone, which is the uh, manifest file. It will goes there. Okay, so you can find out from here the color XML resource files, usually colors and these things, dimensions, everything goes there. Now the Gradle, the fourth one is the Gradle. As we know that the Gradle, what it's doing. So Gradle is an automated build toolkit. Okay, this automated build toolkit is means which is helping a sort of the compiler that allows a way in which projects are built to configure. So they are there to build our project, to configure our project, and to manage through a set of build configuration files. So our configuration files, our building files, our compilation files, they are these details are comes inside the Gradle build folder. This including defining how the project to be built, what are the dependencies, what it needs to be fulfilled, how successfully, what are the results. So in other words, we can say these all things which are related to the compilation and configuration of the file where we are saying a file, it means the app what we are running. That will goes inside that particular one. So we can say that in case of the Android Studio, the Gradle integration is provided through the appropriately Android Studio plugin. So the default means Gradle build is doing most of things by default for us. So not to be worried, but we have to know that where these resources are going, where they are stored. So they all are stored in where in the Gradle build folder. So we are done with the concept conceptually. So you can see that how these things are. What is the means Android Studio interface? what's the Gradle, what are the resources folder, what is the Java folder, what is the manifest file, what are the layouts, how to run the emulator, what are the different options of the emulator, how create, how run, how to run our first application, how to load our application, and so on and so on. So this is the description about that. So our lecture will be like in this pattern. So we will go through for the brief description. So you will be able to learn about that once you get the concepts. Then we will go for the hands-on, and we will see in what we discuss that we will have the project. Then we will have to see inside the Android Studio, like what we discussed, all these options, all the points that what we discussed now. We need to see practically where they are. I suppose we are discussing some of the project, then we need to see that how it is working for us. And then once we will have the lab session, while we will go for the hands-on, not maybe today, but in the next classes, if you wish, you can switch on your laptops and you can go with me as well. This depends on you, not necessary, but it will be better, I suppose, you go for that. And then we will have the lab session. In the lab session, you will be receiving the instructions and the briefing about the task that will be very closely related to the things what we done hands-on practically here in the theory class and discuss those concepts. Okay, so you can spend a bit amount of time, and then you will try to come up with the solutions of those questions that are supposed to be done in the lab session. Now we are ready to go to the Android Studio. So now just allow me a few minutes. Okay, no, it's not for me. No problem. So now just allow me to just switch the machine, because now I will be switching the machine. Here we go. Because of the resources, so I will be switching the machine just to allow me to stop sharing from here to provide you the sharing from the other machine. Okay, so we will be able to have 1 minute. So it is done. We just going to the next machine. Here we are. So I go and yeah, please make sure that you are able to see the screen. Yes, please make sure that you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, we can, sir.
We can see.
Sorry, are you able to see the screen?
Your side is a
Sorry?
bit echoey.
You can.
Yeah, but your side is echoey.
Yeah, because of the too much. Sorry, I'm just trying to stop this one.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah, just 1 minute, please. Yeah. Still echo? Okay.
Yeah, it's echoey.
Yeah, just 1 minute, maybe. Okay. Okay, so what I did actually, I just tried to be out from the one of the machine, so I just handle it here. Okay. So now please, could you confirm? Is it fine?
Now it's fine, sir.
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Can you
Yes,
hear me,
sir.
sir?
We can hear you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
My goodness. So what I will do
I think he can hear us.
to be
Yeah, I don't think sir can hear us right at this moment.
just a minute. So yes. Yes, so I hope that you are able to hear me now, huh? And you can see the screen as well. So what I will do that I will use the screen for the one machine and the audio for the other machine. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
That's
Can you
great.
hear us?
Yeah, I can. That's great. That's great.
All right, cool.
Okay, so we are just going to close this one and we are just quitting from this. So we are just saying just exit because we don't like this. So now see, we are going for the application to launch our application. So here we go. Here is the Android Studio and it is installed. So now we just click on this. We just need to wait to be loaded. Yes. Yes, very great. So now you can see when we start loading, so it will, once it will be loaded, it will show us actually the screen, the tips for us. So you can find out the tips. So if you read the tips, they are most of the time very useful as well. If you don't want to, then you just simply close to the tips. Okay. Once you close to the tips, then you will be able to reach to your Android Studio, but because this was the application already open, so what we need to do, we are just going to close this application. So we are just going to close this application as we can come up with a new application. So you can find out from here that we are going to close the project, existing project, so we can reach to this particular screen. So now you can see that we are at this screen. And in this screen, the options are the same that what we discussed, a bit different because of the difference of the version. Start a new Android project, and the version what it is we are using, it is 4.0.1. Open the existing in case if suppose we want to open the existing one. Your recent one can be loaded in the list from here. So you can only click to this one and you can open that one. Or you can even means import your previous projects, and you can even see that you can means import your previously done with the Eclipse. That was the old time applications. If you remember, I told you that time there was very hard time, but even you can means import them, or you can import an Android code samples as well. So for what it is, so in case if suppose you are means while you are doing your study, you are reading, so maybe you can download the applications while you are reading and you have some application you want to means test them. So at that time you can use these import options and load the application while you are importing. So what happened actually that maybe there are the few things which will be missing because they are not configured as per your machine. So while you will be importing, the Android Studio will ask to you that these things are required, and that option you will choose to them yes, say to yes, then automatically it will configure files for you and application will be runnable. So this will be means something easy for you. Anyhow, we are going for now, which is the start a new Android project. So once we are clicking this one, we will be able to reach to this particular means template. So you can see from this template that it is the phone and tablet. Other option is the wearable operating systems. So you can see from here the watch face and Google Maps, wear activity and blah blah blah. We are not going in a detail at the moment. Then you can see about the TV. So now you can see that the options that are available for TV, they are less. Automotive, so we can see about the automotive applications, media services, messaging services, Android things, which is the Internet of Things like that. And then this is only for your brainstorming, but we are going to use this part, which is the phone and tablet, and we will be using this part mostly in our throughout our course. So in this, you can see that there are so many activities. So this is no activity, basic activity, bottom navigation activity, empty activity, and if you just see below, then you will find there are so many other activities options are there. Native C++, fragment. You remember a few minutes before I used the one word which is known as the fragment. The fragment is actually that how we divide our screen. So we will learn later in about the fragment as well. So the tabled activity. So you can see that there are the tables here, and a fragment application. So you can see the fragment is here. Native application. This is the very empty, and then you can use the C++. Master detail activity navigation. So you can find out. So this will be in design by default there. So in the design file, normally we handle this file as the layout file. This file is known as the layout file, and those layout file where it reside inside the resource folder. We'll show you just in a couple of minutes. So you can find out other details as well, that these all are the options what are available to us. So login activity, later we will be using the login activity for login. Google Map activity. Okay, so you remember that we say that full screen activity. So probably you are noticing while we are using the different mobile applications, few of them they are full screen activities. Which one are the full screen? Like for the applications what we are using for navigation purposes. Okay, very popular application what we are using here in Malaysia. That activity you notice, or any navigation activity, when we use them, then it will run with the full screen. So it depends on a type, what type of application we are using according to that. So you can find out the login, Google Map, full screen, and so on, so many things. But we are going for this moment, we are going for the empty activity. So you can see from here, if we choose this one, then in this layout, normally to the design we also call layout. So when I say the layout, so don't you confuse yourself. So you can find out from here that this is the bottom navigation activity. So it means there will be options here. And if it's a basic activity, then there will be option here to add something. If we are taking the empty activity, then it will be completely empty. So for a moment, say for example, we are taking the active activity. So we just choose this one, and then we come below, and then we need to select the next. Once we select the next, then we will be able to reach to the next screen. Now in this screen, you can find out that by default, the name is My Application. If you wish, you can change the name. If you don't wish to change the name, then automatically Android Studio will come up with the My Application. For second, My Application 1, My Application 2, My Application 3, and so on, because this application name need to be unique. And then the package name, as I told you, that you can see that it will be by default done for you. In case if suppose I'm just trying to write My Application 1, so if I'm just putting 1 here, so you can notice here that in the package name, the 1 is automatically here, the 1 is automatically added. So I'm not doing anything, I'm just removing this 1 from here. So by default, it will be removed from here as well. Okay. So when you are going with the naming conversation, at the moment we are not changing, not a problem. But you need to be careful that naming conversation will be means the same rules what you use for the Java file. What I mean with respect to the caps in the name. Okay. And then this is the location where it can be saved. So if you keep the default location, it's more good because there will be no dependency. And by default, all the things are there, resources are there. You can easily run that. Then language, what we are using, you remember we discussed in our lecture number 1 that either we can use the means Kotlin or Java, but we will be using Java. That's the most popular, and you all have the background for that as well. So then this is the minimum SDK. So you can see from here, by default, it is choosing minimum SDK 16, 4.1 Jelly Beans. So if you wish to change, you can change by clicking this one. So you can means choose anyone. So what it means that now whatever the application you will build, that will run on the API 16 and onward. So if you will choose the very later one, then it will not run the previous APIs. So in this case, it will run on API 16 up to the API 30. So that's what was the point I was trying to brief you at that time. Okay. Now, once it is done, say for example, we are in the first attempt, we are just going with the default options. We are not changing anything, just as you can understand properly, and then you can start playing with it. So you can see from here, now no more options are there. And we are saying create an empty activity, and then we are pressing the finish. So once we press the finish option, this will start loading application for us. It's taking a time. Why is taking a time? Because it is loading the application for us. It is creating all required resources for us. Okay, all the resources, manifest files, project files, each and everything for us. So now you can be able to see that this screen is appeared in front of you. Now in this screen, you can see the most important point. Before I means click on any of the point, you just see that at the bottom, it is the Gradle build model. It is means showing that it is in means process. So when you do this, better that you have to wait for a moment so it is done. And once it will be done, it will show you that this process is done, because this is actually means capturing, running, arranging the resources, what resources are actually required for your application. So better to give the time to be done this operation. Okay, maybe it will take some time, especially for the first time. So once it will be done, then you will be able to start working for that. So you notice now that it is the Gradle build is done. You can see the progress bar here. Okay, once it's done, you will be able to see the screen here now. That screen is showing that it started successfully. And you notice that once it is done, the screen here, we didn't did anything, but it automatically changes. Okay, so this is that you have to be careful about that. You have to wait. If you are the Android programmer, so you have to have patience. Okay, no need to be hurried. So the things will be means more proper. Now, once you're here, before we go anywhere, we are just trying to go from the top. So just see that what options are. So see from here, my application for whatever it is. This is the app, means application, a folder. So you can see from here, this is app. I'm not clicking anyone, but I will. So I'm just going to give you the brief first. Then this is SRC. This is the resource folder. Then this is the main. Then this is the Java. Then this is the COM. What's a COM? You remember why you were renaming it? So it was automatically changing. So you can find it that here is the com.example, that my application. So com.application. So this is by default automatically done for you by the Gradle. So not to be worried. Here is the resource folder. I'm not clicking any one folder right now, but I will. Okay, not now, as you can understand it properly, and then we will come back and do that. So now you can see from here examples, then my applications, and here you can see main activity. So why I'm taking you from here to here? So it means that whatever the last option will be here, it means that file is open and active at the moment. So you can see from here that this file main activity.java is open here. So this is the main activity.java is here. So now see, if I'm just going to click to this one, what happened? It is the activity underscore main.xml. Remember, this is main activity. So this will be by default, means reverse name for you. If you wish to change, you can, but otherwise it will be by default reverse, like main activity. This is activity underscore main.xml. Okay, the .xml is file which is the design file. Okay, this is from the resources folder. Which folder? From this one folder. So when I click this one, so now go back, you can see from here this path is changed. This is activity underscore main.xml, and this is where in the layout, and this is where in the resource folder. So you notice this path is changed now. Okay, if I just going to click again to this one, so you can see that now main activity from where? From my application, examples, COM and Java. So this is from the Java folder. So remember that what we discussed: Java folder, resource folder, manifest file, and Gradle build. So you can see from here, just be with my mouse pointer, you can find out the Gradle script is here. So this is Gradle, this is the resource one, and this is the Java, and this is the manifest folder. So these four things are highly important. We will go inside it as well, but slowly as we understand the things well. So now I'm again going here back from the main activity. So you can see that this is the default code is available, which is the package is what? com.example, that the same code if you remember. Okay, then this is main activity is created for you, which is extending to the app, means compact activity. And then here is the one method which is on create. Now what is the on create? We will discuss once we will discuss the life cycle of the activity. Okay, so leave this at this stage. Now we are coming here, so you can see from here that this is the make projects F9. Okay, so it means that you are done, so you are wish to compile, so you can do something. Now this is the app. Okay, open or edit it in debug mode. This is your emulator. Okay, so you can see from here, this is the Nexus 5. We already done. We can create it again. This is the one, the button which we can run the application. Okay, and then these are the debugs and the Gradles and the performance parameters. So you can go through with all of these and you can enjoy and play with that. Just with the default application, just play before your lab class, because in the lab class, we will do the sum of the tasks. Before that, you just do whatever you can do, make the errors, come up with the things, play with it, and try to understand it further. Okay, now we are going back to the manifest, because today we are not doing anything with the main activity.java. We are going back to the activity main.xml. So now you can see that this is actually the design appears here. So why the design appears here? You know, go to the right side. From here, you can see this is the design is selected. If you select to the split, then you will be able to see the code and the design. But you will notice that, you will notice that this code is XML. Okay, so this is in XML format. Why? Because that is a part of the activity main.xml. So all of the designing in the Android, we handle it with the XML. And that XML, where it resides, it is the part of the folder. Okay, so now you have to be careful about that particular things. Okay, now what happened? If you just go for this code, then you just click this one, then you will be able to just write the code. So this is the same thing, only the 3 different views for it. So it depends on us that what thing we require at what time. So for example, we are writing a code, we need a window, we can press this one. Otherwise, we can split this one. Otherwise, we can go for the design. Most of the time, we use, while we are in design, we use the design. Because once you just notice here the code, what is the code at this time? It is showing us text view. Okay, and the text view, you can see inside that if we just go for the design, or if I just press it in the split mode, so you can see from here, this is the text view. When I click to this one, so you can see the text view is highlighted. Okay, so whatever the changes, I will do it here. So you will see that all of the changes will reflect automatically here. And in case if suppose I made any changes here, like suppose see hello world is written here. You can see from here, hello world. If I just take you to the design part, so you can see that this is the hello world is written here. So I'm taking you to the code part again. And in the hello world, I just put the space and saying hello world testing. Say, for example, hello world testing. Okay. So I made the changes here. So now I'm going back to the design, and you can see that this is means replaced. This is changed in hello world testing. Okay. You can means do the changes either in the code or either you do the changes in the design. They will be automatically reflect to each other. For example, now here, if suppose I click to this one, okay, I will click later because it will take you slower there. So you may not means get confused for that one. Okay, now after this, you learn about this, that how this is. Now we are going up here. This is the left side, and this is the means you can see that this is the app. Inside the app is means your application. Inside app, there are the 4 folders that what we discussed. Number 1 is the manifest, then Java, then resources, and then the Gradle. So when we go for the manifest file, so you can see that this is the Android manifest.xml. You remember we said that this is the default file. When we click this one, you just double click this one, this will be automatically uploaded or appeared for you. So you can see inside this that it is allowing the backup. It's true. We're not going in detail. This is the means MIMP launcher. So this is the icon for your application. So if you wish to change the icon, it means you will change from there or you can change from here. This is I'm giving you the hint because that will be your task in the next lab. Okay. And this is the label for your application, my application. So you notice that this label is not highlighted. So the things which are not highlighted, avoid to change with this one. Otherwise, your program will be means facing issues. So now, what is the different other things? Round icon, support is true for what themes we are using. Okay, what's the name of the main activity? So you can find out all of the information. What is the means launcher? So you can find out all of the information are here. And with time to time, we will see that how important file this is and which contain all of the information and how we can play with this one. Okay, we're going outside from this one, from the manifest. Now we are going for the Java file. In Java file, you can find out again subfolders. Okay, in the subfolder, you can see if you just click to this one, the first folder you can find out main activity, that is the Java file here. The same file you remember, it was default open for us. Whatever the files you will be opening, those all files will be listed in the tabular form. You can see from here, main activity, Android manifest, activity main. So they will be means by default it will be kept open here. If you wish to close anyone, say for example we don't want the manifest file, we just close from here as well, then means you can remove from here. So this is totally depend on you. Now when we go to this one, the other folder, so you can see that here are the other details or the other folders inside the Java file. If you just click to this one, so you can find out that what other informations are there which is related to your application. And if you just go for this one, so you can see that example unit test is there. So normally we will not go in this, but we will go in this file and we will make the changes and whatever the code we will be writing here, that is our part. Now after done with this, for example, you understand about the manifest file. Now we are going for the resource folder. In the resource folder, you remember we discussed that it has the values and MIP map, the layout and the drawable. So and when we go to the drawable, you can find out the IC launcher background. So you can see that this is the IC launcher background. The default launcher background is this one. So you can keep changing. I will just leave it for you. You can start playing with that. I will show you, and you can see this is the icon what they are using. Okay, and the further icon you can see as well. Layout, that this is the activity underscore main.xml. This is inside the layout. When we click this one, you remember that what the file we are opening here, that is here. So now you can see from here that most of the files are open. So if you wish, you can just close them. So it will be easy for you. So you can handle them in a easy way. Okay, now just closing this one because just trying to give you the overview that what they contain. Now we are here. This is the MIP map, and in this is the actually launcher file here with the different means sizes. So this is HDPI, We click this one, and if suppose we are using with the this resolution, that will be different. So just see, these are with the different resolutions, and by default it will use the right whatever the means required resolution, so it will be used. So you can play with this one. So be ready for the lab. That will be your task, that how you can change them. So yeah, you can find out from again here. So you can see that what are the different options are available here. Okay, then we are not going for more detail here. We're just going to close these things for your ease. Just trying not to means create a mess up here. So it will be easy for you for your understanding. Okay, then this is the values folder. So this contains the colors. Okay, so you can define here the primary colors and what are the colors. So colors are we defining with the values. So you can see the different color values are here. You can change about the color values. You can find out the string values. You can see about the styles as well. Most of the time we go there, and most of the time we don't need it because we can do it from the design itself easily. So now we are just going for the resource in the layout, as we wish to open this file, because now we can do the few more things about that, because we are running out of time, but we try to understand the necessary things which are important for us. So by mistake, we already closed that file. So no problem. We can just double click. We will be here. Okay. Now here you can see that these are the options you can see from here. 100%. Okay. If I click to this one, so you can see that now you can change the size of this one. If you wish to reduce that one, you can reduce means size, whatever the size. This depend while you are means keep doing the designing according as per means your need. So you can use this tool, so you can means set its side that where and whatever you want to make the changes on it. Okay. So now when we are clicking to this means button, sorry, because we need to remove this one. Okay. So now once we are here, if suppose we keep it up to this much. So when we are clicking this one, so you can see from here, this is the plate. It contains the different control. So this is the common control, which is the text view. This is text view. Then we have the buttons, we have the image buttons, we have the recycle view, and there are so many gadgets and widgets and layouts are there. You will be using with time to time. For example, now we just click to this one. The moment you will click this one, you will notice here that the properties for that will appear here. So you can see from here where you wish to place it. So at this, it is placing it in the center. Okay. And where you are trying to declare any attributes, you can just go and find out hello world testing, whatever the text you wish to change. Means these are so many things. Maybe we are running out of time. So we'll let you know maybe means later, or you can go through with this, what these things are. But later I will let you know as well. So how this means, what is the parent and what is the lab content, this we will discuss it later. Okay, so how we can place them while we will be discussing about the GUI, because these are the parts of your GUI. So then, sorry, then you can find out the other details, the common attributes, what they are, layout and constant attributes, what they are, and you know that how we can change the values from here. And this is what we were discussing, that is all about the project. Just see here, once we click to the project, then all this information can be disappear. When we click to the project again, then it can take the information to us. And this space we can means make, this is very much customizable. You can place any place, you can click to anyone. So you can do means feel free to means play with this one. Okay, now you can see from here, if I just click the favorites, so you can find out what are your favorites. Maybe you will be means start creating your favorites later on. And this is your build information while you are building your application. So you will find the information here. This is the structure of your application. But normally what we do, normally we used to be most of the time in the projects. The rest of the things we don't use, and means at the early stage. And here you can also find about your device properties, that what device you are connecting. If you are means already connecting with the default device emulator, then you will be able to see your device here. Or if you are connecting your physical device, then you will be able to see your physical device here as well. And these are the layout validation. So you can see that how it will looks like once you run application, then where it will be. And this is the means Gradle information. So in case because we didn't run the application, then you will be able to see. So again, you will be just only able to click once again, then you will be able to means close them. So you just see, just click once and click second, then it will appear and disappear for you. So what I mean that you need to just play with it again and again, again and again. So you just be very much familiar with all of the controls. Now we come here. Here you can see this is the terminal. We can means write any small comments or codes here. So once I click second time, so it is disappear. This is the build window. Okay, so you can see means it will show us that the either application successful or not. And again, this is the locate. This is the window where you can do the debug, locate, and then here are the to-do tasks. Say for example, what you want to do, anything, any line and code. So we will use them. Means later on. I don't want to go in more details, so you may not get confused at the moment. Now, for example, now we are say for example we just added hello world testing, and now we are just trying to means run our application. So because here, if we just go from here, you click this one, so you can find out that these are the details. These are the details means for the emulators which are available to us. So we can say open AVD manager. If we say this one, it will open AVD manager for us, and then we will be able to install or configure new AVD. Otherwise, we already have them, then we can use these all of the devices and we can run on them. And if suppose we want to run on the multiple devices, if suppose we have 2, 3, 4, 5 AVDs, we can run on all of them. We can be able to run on all of them as well. So say for example, first I just try to run with the default one. So that's why I just create this one, click this one. So you notice that now it is started. It is starting here. It will take a bit time, and it will take again a time to install our application, because you can find it from here that the Gradle is running. Once the Gradle is running, okay, then it will appears to us. So see, this is still taking time. So guess it's not online after 7 seconds. Okay, whatever it is, no problem. You just need to wait. So you notice I told you that if you will close this one, then it means that it will take a amount of time to work for you. So it is better that once you run it, then you just keep it up. So then it will be good for you, so you can run it in a more appropriate way. So it is taking time. So time will be taken, not to be worried about that. Okay. So we are still waiting because the Gradle is not done. Now you can see from here, the Gradle innovation is finished. 0 errors are there. Okay, but still nothing is appeared. And now you can see from here installing. It means build is done. Now it is going to install the application on our emulator. So give him a time. It's installing. Now you can see launch app, click to the app task, but we are not doing anything. So what happened? You say that your cell phone went off. It's just like a cell phone. It went off, so he is not able to install the application. So automatically it restarted. Okay. So this is just looks like the cell phone. You can see from here, it just looks like a cell phone. So it went off. Offline, we can see means the dates and everything, and we can use even the internet on this. You can see this is the Google one. So you can see that we can find anything, any video, whatever it is. This is the default setting. Okay, we can run anything, and this will be working as well. Say for example, I click to this one. See, it will looks like a handset. So now what happened? It was an error with this one, and this is common, so not to be worried. So what happened? We can run it again. Now this time it will not take time, because now our already it is open. This now see that it is installing. Install successfully finished in 2 seconds. So you notice that now this time it doesn't take a time. Okay, and see now it is running. So in case you suppose you are running your application, and for some of the time, and if it is showing some error or something, so not to be scared about that, not to be worried about that. Okay, you will receive a lot of the means the errors and the issues, and because that's the part of the means programming, and especially that's the part for the Android one. Okay, so having the errors, having the issues, having the problems, not to be worried about that. Okay, you notice that when we run the application, it means it was not successful, and automatically your emulator went off and restart automatically. So application was not installed, and we didn't did anything, and we run it again. So it means then again. So sometimes if your application is not running, what I mean that it doesn't mean that actually your application is not successful. So be patient, be with patience, huh? So I hope that you understand. Now what we are doing, say for example, that if you want to go back to write the code or make some changes or do something, so what's the right approach? The right approach is here that you can see from here. You can see that maybe I just keep it up so you can see from here as well. So you need to press this stop. Okay, then it will be, this is the right way. So you just press the stop. After that, you can make any changes. When you press the stop, what happened? Your application will be stopped from here. Okay, and then you will be able to make whatever the changes you want to. Now we're just going back again just to create the one for you. So you can see from here. Now this time I'm saying that open the AVD manager. That's what we discussed in our class. So when we say the open AVD manager, it is showing me that what actually virtual devices are already there. So you notice that one of the virtual device we already use it, and how much size on this is this much and this much, whatever it is. So if suppose I want to edit this one, I can go with this one. I can edit, I can change its mode, portrait to landscape, or from landscape to other one, or whatever it is. So this is means we can do that whatever it is necessary. Okay, or suppose if I want to run from here, I just play this one. Even though my application is not ready, I can just upload it, make it running, so I can save my time. And then I can, once I will be creating the application, so at that time I have to choose the right one, what I'm already running it. Otherwise it will run the second emulator for us. And here you can find out that in case if suppose you want to make a duplicate, wipe a data, just going to format it because you have so many applications, you can do like that. And also you can install and uninstall application. It will act like the same your cell phone. Now from here, if you wish to create more, so you can see from here, create this click the button. Then you will find out a huge list what you are going to be. Like suppose for TV, less, for phone, so many, for wearable devices, less, for tablet, so many, for automotive, less. So say for example, we are going for a phone and we are saying that what option we are going to choose. For example, we are choosing for the phone. These are the options. So the option what we will choose, it will show us, let's see how many cell phones options are there. So you can go for anyone. Normally we go for the Nexus one because that is the light one. So Nexus 4, Nexus 5, 5X, Nexus 6, Nexus 6P. So for example, if suppose I say that I want to go for Nexus 6, okay, so we can select the Nexus 6, and here now the Nexus 6 is there, and it will let us know that what are the resources they are being used for this one. Then we can say next, before say the next, we just go for the back. Here you can find out the option, which is the clone. So we can make the clone with our existing already emulator as well. Otherwise, if you want to create a new, so we just going to create a new so you can understand how it is. So it is letting us know that API 27 will be there. Android 8.1 will be there if suppose you are going for this one. Because before that, previous one, they are not supported. So then we have to go for this one. And Oreo 27. So now if suppose I want to go for Oreo other options, then you can see from here, download is written here, mentioned here. So it means that these APIs are, the required files for these APIs are not available. So if I choose any other option, then what happened, then I have to go through for the download and installation purpose as well. So in this case, it's not showing download. It means the required files, they are already there. So I can go through with this one, say next, and then I can have the other details, what name you wish to. Okay, you can customize your name as well. So you can see from here AVD name. you can customize. This is the default name, but if suppose you want to customize, you can customize. If you want to change from the portrait or landscape, you can. So this will be the default means orientation. It doesn't mean that if suppose this is in this orientation, you cannot use it this. No, you can. You can. I will show you right now that as well. But what the orientation you want to keep the sorry, default. So like this, if you just say finish, then it will be done. So now if you just go here, then you will be able to see that Nexus 6 is also here with 27 API. So you remember that's the one we just installed. Now if we just go to the Open Manager, so the previously it was only 2. Now that means third one is also there. Okay. Now what I mentioned to you, if we just close this one and if we run the application again, oh, it's still, this is already running. So now from here you can see we can change the orientation. This is the option. We can change the orientation. Okay. We can change from the means any mode, whatever we wish to. So you see this is in this direction, again in this direction, again in this direction. So we can means rotate it whatever, however we wish to. We want to go for the camera. So the camera option we can use, but this is very limited. We cannot. And the other options like back and everything, you can use it for maps. And these are the other applications as well. So you can see, suppose for this is the clock application. We can run for the clock application. So in the same way, we can do the same thing. This is another clock application. So this is how, this is the battery indicator application. Okay, how much battery for this one? So it will be showing us the battery. This is showing the real level of the battery. What is the real level of the battery for your emulator as well? And if you will run this on your mobile phone, it will show you the battery level for that one. And this is the Android speech. So that we will do it later. I will let you know. So you can see that how we can say, for example, I say that this is the page, this is the speed. So I am just writing this. Don't be worried. We will do these all things, not to be worried. Hello, how are you? And now I'm saying speech. So then it will it need to speech, but I don't know. I don't have the mouse, that's why it is not means clicking. So what it will do, it will convert means your text into the speech. So that these all things we will learn later on. So you will see that how these things are going to be work. So now we are just closing this one, I hope. And now this, just see from here, we can even close the power. Okay, we can shut down this one. So you can see now this is shut down and we can restart this one. And finally, if suppose you want to close this one, so you can close from here, then it will be means saving your status or saving your state, whatever you've done the last, and then it will take a time and then it will go off. Okay, so now you will notice that nothing is there. So that is all about today. I hope that you learn the things, try to explore the things more, and then we will do the few tasks in your lab session, and they will be a very minor level of challenging, but I hope that you will do not a problem. And this time lab is the physical face-to-face as well as online as well. So you can opt any of the option, whatever would you like to be. So there will be no issue. So wish you best of luck. Oh my goodness, maybe we will not be able to have attendance because the time is over. So just give me 1 minute. Oh my goodness, because within time, if we don't mark, then it will create a problem for us. Yeah, the class is over. So please refresh the page login. Okay, we already did. No. So please, I may request you, one of you, that we may always have attendance at least 30 to 40 minutes before. So just remind me, once we go out of the time, then we will not be able to have the attendance through the camp system. So now we have to have the attendance through the old system. So just give me a minute so we can go for that. So thank you very much. I hope you understand. So I'm just stopping sharing from this machine and switching back to the same machine. So here we go. It's done. And here I don't know that we cannot stop recording from here. So we are just stopping the recording to go for attendance. Here we go.